It's just better if Rachel doesn't come to the wedding. I froze outside the kitchen, hearing Mom's voice on the phone. Dad's voice echoed from the background. She'll understand. Family harmony is more important than her feelings. What they didn't know was that I'd already started packing. Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm 24 years old. I'm an elementary school teacher, the middle child in a family that's always labeled me as the sensitive one, the one who supposedly creates drama just by existing. My older sister Victoria has always been the golden child. Perfect grades, perfect job, perfect everything. I've spent my whole life trying to keep the peace, but somehow I'm always the problem. I wasn't dramatic or attention-seeking, but I had finally learned that my presence wasn't valued. For years, I'd been excluded from family decisions, treated like the source of all conflict even when I was trying to fix things. Every family gathering, every important moment, there was always some reason why it would be better if I just stayed quiet or stayed away. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next taught me that sometimes the best way to handle being unwanted is to give them exactly what they asked for. The nightmare started 3 weeks earlier when I found out Victoria was engaged, not from a phone call or family announcement, from Instagram. There she was, showing off her ring with a caption about starting this new chapter with the love of my life. I called Mom immediately. Why didn't anyone tell me Victoria got engaged? Oh, that, Mom said dismissively. We've been so busy planning. There's going to be a family meeting tomorrow to discuss wedding logistics. The next evening, I showed up at my parents' house for this family meeting. Victoria, her fiancé Derek, Mom, and Dad were all sitting around the dining room table with notebooks and wedding magazines spread out. Rachel, Mom said when she saw me, we didn't expect you. You said family meeting. Victoria looked uncomfortable. Dad cleared his throat. Sit down, honey. We need to talk about something important. I sat, feeling the tension in the air. We've decided it's best if you stay home during the wedding weekend, Mom announced like she was discussing the weather. My stomach dropped. What? Victoria finally spoke up, not meeting my eyes. You know how you get emotional at big events, and I can't risk crying and ruining my makeup. I get emotional? Rachel, you always make things about yourself, Dad said. This is Victoria's day. Mom nodded. You'll cause less stress by not being there. It's what's best for everyone. I sat there stunned. You're uninviting me from Victoria's wedding? We're not uninviting you, Victoria said quickly. We're just asking you to be understanding. That's when I realized something that made my blood run cold. They were all too calm, too prepared with their responses. This wasn't a spontaneous decision. How long have you been planning this? The silence told me everything. My phone buzzed later that night. It was Aunt Linda. Hi, sweetie. I just wanted to check if you're okay with not being invited to Victoria's wedding. Your mom mentioned you couldn't make it. Couldn't make it. Not that they'd excluded me. That I couldn't make it. But that was just the beginning of their lies. Over the next week, the betrayals kept coming. I discovered from my cousin Sarah that Mom had told the entire extended family I couldn't afford to attend the wedding. Not that I'd been asked not to come, that I was too broke to be there. We totally understand, Sarah said sympathetically. Weddings are so expensive, and teaching doesn't pay much. I wanted to scream. They'd turned my exclusion into a charity case. Then Victoria posted her engagement photos on Facebook. The caption read, Can't wait to celebrate with the people who matter most. So grateful for my amazing family's support. I scrolled through dozens of comments from relatives congratulating her. Not one of them mentioned me. It was like I didn't exist. But the worst betrayal came dressed as kindness. Mom called me Friday afternoon. Rachel, we have a favor to ask. Could you house sit during the wedding weekend? Buster needs someone to watch him, and it would really help us out. Buster, the family dog. They wanted me to pet sit while they celebrated without me. You're being so mature about this, Mom continued. I knew you'd understand eventually. I agreed to house sit. What choice did I have? That evening, I overheard Victoria on the phone with her maid of honor. At least we don't have to worry about Rachel making it about herself. God, can you imagine the drama? The final insult came 3 days before the wedding. Dad called with one more request. Rachel, since you're saving money by not attending, could you help pay for the wedding flowers? We're a little short, and you know how important this is to Victoria. They wanted me to pay for flowers at the wedding I was banned from attending. But what they didn't know was that I'd been planning my own disappearance for weeks. Those grading papers late evenings, I was researching solo travel destinations. The teacher workshops I mentioned, I was at the passport office and travel agency. While they thought I was being a good sport about house sitting, I was booking flights and planning the trip I'd always dreamed of, but never had the courage to take. The house-sitting job they'd given me? Perfect cover for what I had planned. They wanted me to disappear for their convenience. I decided to disappear for mine. My best friend and teaching colleague Maya was the only one who knew the truth. You don't owe them anything, she said when I told her my plan. Take that trip to Ireland you always talked about. You've been saving for it for 3 years. She was right. I had been saving. Every month, putting money aside for a someday adventure. Someday had arrived. While my family grew more confident in their decision, telling neighbors how mature Rachel was being about missing the wedding, I was making final preparations. I arranged for automated lights and timers to make the house look lived in. I forwarded my mail. I even set up an auto feeder for Buster. Mom called the night before the wedding. See? Rachel just needed clear boundaries. She's actually being helpful for once. Victoria had told her bridal party she'd solve the Rachel problem by giving me something useful to do at home. They had no idea what was coming. Wedding morning arrived. I was sitting at my departure gate at JFK Airport when my phone rang. It was Mom. Hi, sweetie. Just checking that you're settled in at the house. How's Buster? I looked at my boarding pass for Dublin. Buster's fine, Mom. Good. We're heading to the church soon. Thank you for doing this, Rachel. It means a lot that you're being so supportive. Actually, Mom, I need to tell you something. What's that, honey? I'm at the airport. Silence. Then, what do you mean? I'm flying to Ireland. You said it was better if I wasn't there for Victoria's special day, so I'm not. Rachel, where are you exactly? Dublin in about 6 hours, then Edinburgh, then Paris. I'll be gone for 3 weeks. You can't just leave. Who's watching Buster? Automated feeder. He'll be fine. The house is all set up. Dad grabbed the phone. This is ridiculous, Rachel. Come home right now. You wanted me to disappear on Victoria's special day. Mission accomplished. This isn't what we meant. Actually, Dad, this is exactly what you meant. You wanted family harmony without me there. Well, now you have it. I hung up and boarded my flight. For the next 3 weeks, I posted photos from Dublin's cobblestone streets. Edinburgh's castle views, and Paris cafes. Every picture showed me smiling, free, exploring the world on my own terms. My phone exploded with messages I didn't read until I was ready. Back home, my family was scrambling to explain my absence to wedding guests who asked where I was. Some relatives reached out to me directly, and I told them the truth about being excluded. The story of my financial troubles fell apart quickly when they saw my European vacation photos. Victoria texted me from her honeymoon. "I'm sorry. I was wrong to exclude you. I let Mom and Dad convince me you'd cause drama, but you were never the problem." Some apologies came, others didn't. But for the first time in my life, I didn't care who apologized and who didn't. I finally understood I never needed their approval. I needed my own respect. And walking away from people who treated me like a problem instead of a person was the most respectful thing I could do for myself. Where are you watching from? Drop it below. I always check. If you've ever been told you're the problem when you're actually the solution, you're not alone. Subscribe if you believe in taking back your power when family takes you for granted. Your story matters. Share how you've handled family exclusion in the comments, because sometimes the best response to being unwanted is showing them you don't need them either.